Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into a pretty fascinating career in the media world, using the CV and other materials you've shared about Phillip Covell.
That's right. We've got a good set of documents here, CV, website info, project outlines, and our goal is to really trace the path, see how the responsibilities and the expertise developed over time.
Exactly, go beyond just the bullet points. And we thought the best way to do this would be, well, backwards.
Reverse chronology. Start with today and work our way back. It offers shows the foundations more clearly, I think.
Makes sense. So let's kick things off with the present. What do the sources say Phillip Covell is focused on right now?
Well, the materials indicate he's currently available, and his focus is squarely on business and management roles, looking for that next significant opportunity.
Okay, so actively looking for the next chapter.
Yeah.
And looking just slightly back from today, there's some really recent impactful work mentioned. Consultancy and something about an IBC prize.
Yes, exactly. In his recent consultancy work, he played a significant part in an initiative that actually won a special prize at IBC in 2022.
Ah, that was the Support for Ukrainian Media Professionals initiative.
That's the one. A really vital effort, obviously. He worked with colleagues from right across the industry, setting up a LinkedIn group.
Right, a platform for connection and support. And the scale of that was quite something, wasn't it?
It really was. The sources say it connected over 400 colleagues from, get this, over 280 different companies.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, really the A to Z of the broadcast and entertainment industry all pulling together.
And the aim was direct help.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Helping media professionals and companies still working in Ukraine and also supporting those who had become refugees. It's a clear example of, using that network and leadership for something really positive.
Definitely. Okay, stepping back just a bit further then, before the recent consultancy, the sources detail a huge project vision, AVTN Newsnet 24/7.
Oh, yeah, this was a major one. He was founder and CEO alongside Kinney Chang as founder and CTO. It was a plan for a global news network.
And looking at the timeline, this wasn't just a quick sketch on a napkin. This had years of development behind it.
You can see that clearly. R&D started way back in 2010. The first sort of proper proposal version came out in autumn 2014, and then the final, very detailed one was presented in 2018.
And that final version, it wasn't just one plan. It offered a choice.
That's right. The proposal laid out an either launch choice, either AVTN, which would be focused on aviation, aerospace, travel, that kind of niche global news,
Okay.
or Newsnet 24/7, which was envisioned as a broader world news service, maybe with more of a business and consumer angle.
Two distinct paths, but both global in scope. And the structure reflected that. Planned operational basis.
Yes, key hubs were planned for London, New York, and Singapore. And interestingly, Amsterdam was added later, probably as the likely EU base post-Brexit.
That shows some strategic foresight dealing with things like Brexit.
Definitely planning for the real world.
And the scale of investment needed.
Uh-huh.
Well, it wasn't small.
Not at all. Just for Tier 1, the initial phase, the funding target was £198 million, plus another £20 million in credit facilities.
So well over 200 million pounds just to get started.
Exactly. It gives you a sense of the ambition here. This was conceived on a truly Tier 1 global scale.
And for that kind of money, you'd expect a detailed plan. The sources suggest it was very thorough.
Oh, incredibly so.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a concept pitch. The proposal included deep market analysis, looking at target audiences like, high net worth individuals, aviation pros, but also the general news audience.
Competitors, financials.
All in there. Competitor analysis, detailed financials, revenue projections, even cost per thousand, or CPT analysis. It looked at multiple tiers for development, phasing the rollout, and crucially, a very detailed risk analysis.
Covering all the bases.
Pretty much. Market access, regulations, operational risks, financial risks. It was a comprehensive blueprint for a major international media business. Shows a real capacity for that high-level executive planning.
Right. Okay, peeling back another layer then. Before the AVTN Newsnet 24/7 vision started taking shape, we find LEQ.
Yes, LEQ, established by Phillip Covell. And
Wow.
interestingly, his father, Tony Covell, joined him in the business later.
And LEQ relates to something earlier.
Correct. The sources frame it as effectively the third era of a company called the Lightweight Equipment Co.
I see. And LEQ's focus.
It carried on the core business, supplying specialist kit and services to, major broadcasting corporations and productions, continuing that family legacy in equipment supply, but under his leadership initially.
So LEQ was Era 3, What defined Era 2 of the Lightweight Equipment Co.?
Era 2 seems to mark a real step towards independence. This is when Philip personally invested in his own equipment.
Ah, so not just facilitating services, but owning the assets.
Exactly. And that allowed him to start pursuing contracts independently, building his own client base beyond just servicing the VFG network. It shows that drive, that entrepreneurial step.
Now, within that Lightweight Equipment Co. period, Eras 1 and 2, the sources pull out one project for special mention, VFG Ireland. Why the focus on that one?
Because it was a really significant undertaking, and it speaks volumes about the trust placed in him early on, he was specifically approached by the directors of VFG.
The company his father founded.
Right. And they approached him to do something pretty major, establish VFG's very first base of operations outside the UK,
Setting up shop overseas. Where was this?
in Dublin, Ireland. And the time frame is what's really striking. The sources say he established this entire overseas operation from scratch in just 6 months.
6 months. That's incredibly fast for setting up in a new country.
It really is. And it wasn't just setting up an office. His role included overseeing and delivering multiple contracts immediately for this new Irish company.
Any examples?
Yeah, they mention a big one. Handling the equipment and services for the Hallmark and Jim Henson's Creature Shop production of Animal Farm.
A major production. So immediate, high-stakes operational responsibility.
Absolutely. And the results. The sources state he ensured VFG Ireland turned over £2.2 million in its very first year.
Wow. So built it fast and made it profitable immediately. That's quite a marker.
Definitely shows significant executive capability, delivering results under pressure very early in his career.
Okay, let's keep rewinding. Back to Era 1 of the Lightweight Equipment Co. How did that begin?
The Lightweight Equipment Co., in its first iteration, was essentially set up as a vehicle for Philip.
So specifically for him.
Yes, its initial purpose was focused, supplying his services primarily to VFG and VFG's clients. It was like a dedicated service arm within that existing ecosystem.
An ecosystem built by VFG, founded by his father, Tony Covell.
Correct. And Tony Covell was a well-known figure in the camera equipment hire business back then. VFG itself became a major supplier for lots of big films, TV dramas, that sort of thing.
And Philip's involvement with VFG started really, really early, didn't it?
Almost unbelievably early. The sources mention he actually took a month off from studying for his A-levels.
Before finishing school.
Yeah. To help with the actual setting up of VFG, that shows a pretty deep early commitment to the business and the industry.
Okay, so tracing it all the way back now, the absolute roots seem to be in another company, Cinefocus.
That's where it all starts. Cinefocus, but also founded by his father, Tony Covell, another key player in camera hire at the time. And the sources emphasize this wasn't just a job, it was a whole environment. He grew up in business, technical, everything.
Immersed from day one. And Cinefocus itself was involved in some major projects.
Oh, yeah. It was a respected company. They supplied gear for huge films like James Cameron's Aliens.
Wow, Aliens. Iconic.
Definitely. And lots of other big films and, those classic pop music videos from that era. So he was around high-end production tech right from the start.
And not just around it, but actively involved. The sources mention experience on hundreds of productions.
Over 300 productions is the figure given. And it wasn't like he just jumped into management. He really came up through the ranks, the hard way.
How did that path look?
Started right at the bottom, really, as a rental house tech, basically accompanying the specialist gear out to set, learning it inside out.
Okay.
Then working his way up through the camera department roles. Second assistant camera, or clapper loader.
Right.
Then first assistant camera, the focus puller, who's really responsible for the camera package. Then camera operator, actually framing the shots. Then lighting cameraman, and eventually director of photography on various projects.
So the full progression, mastering the craft hands-on.
Absolutely. And alongside that, he was also providing production and crewing services. The sources also note some specialisms on set operating remote camera heads on cranes, which is technically demanding.
And Steadicam.
And Steadicam, yeah. That body-mounted stabilization rig takes real skill and practice to operate well.
What strikes me here is something the sources point out explicitly.
What's that?
That his technical development and his business management development happened at the same time. They weren't separate phases.
Exactly. That's a key point. These two strands, the deep technical expertise and the business acumen they grew together simultaneously, fostered by that environment. It wasn't sequential. It was parallel development.
And this practical experience was backed up by formal training, too.
Yes, definitely. Training with big industry names like Sony and Kodak is mentioned. But there was also a really significant internship noted in 1995.
Okay.
He actually moved to Los Angeles to intern with Panavision.
Panavision, that's huge in the film camera world.
Legendary. Interning at their LA headquarters, getting inside one of the world's top motion picture equipment companies.
And did he get to apply that directly?
Straight away, it seems. While he was in LA, he actually joined the crew for some episodes of the first season of ER.
The TV show. That was massive then, and known for its look.
Exactly. A very demanding, fast-paced production. So immediate practical application in a high-pressure environment. So when you put all that early experience together.
Cinefocus, VFG, building his own company, the Panavision Training.
Right. It really does paint a picture of someone with an unusually broad and deep grounding. Multinational experience covering equipment hire, sales, even manufacturing, combined with that hands-on production work right up to director of photography.
That's a rare combination.
It puts him in quite an exclusive group, having that blend of technical, operational, and executive experience across both broadcast and film.
So looking back at the whole trajectory we've traced from that foundational period in Cinefocus and VFG, building technical skills from the ground up,
Through establishing and running the Lightweight Equipment Co. and LEQ, taking on the major challenge of VFG Ireland.
then developing the huge vision for AVTN Newsnet 24/7, right up to the recent impactful consultancy work recognized by IBC.
You really see this consistent thread, don't you? Constant development, increasing responsibility, blending that deep technical knowledge with sharp business and strategic thinking.
From the camera lens to the boardroom, essentially, covering almost every angle of the media, equipment, and production world. And now, as we said at the start, looking for that next big challenge.
Which brings us back to the present and leaves a really interesting thought for you, the listener, to consider. Given this incredibly diverse and deep career merging hands-on technical mastery, proven operational leadership, and high-level executive vision on a global scale, what kind of next significant opportunity out there would be the perfect fit to truly leverage that unique blend of skills in today's media landscape?
Something to definitely ponder. That was a fascinating deep dive, tracing a remarkable path through the industry.